You know.
Yeah, I mean, some of them said they would, but who knows?
Well, so where are we with this? Obviously, we're not on tanker servers. We can debate logistics all day, but really, it's going nowhere.
Yeah, if you're not gonna tank the servers, then the only option is to fight.
User in your channel is recording.
Pretty much.
Means FA and SOS is gonna have to double team Yakspend consistently. They're gonna have to help each other out like they're brothers, you know, because you're in the same boat, whether you want it or not. It's the only way that I can think of that is viable. The other way about tanking 2 servers and moving up 2 other servers and moving 26 guilds into those 2 servers in between them, that's a mess waiting to happen. That's a train wreck waiting to happen. It's not gonna work.
There's a possibility of returning players from the expansion and new players from the expansion, so that might help out.
Yeah, Heart of Thorns is coming out, so a boatload of players are going to come in. So who knows what'll happen.
Thing is, though, those boatload of players are going to raise all ships. It's like the tide raising all ships, because every server is going to get an influx of, you know, of players when the expansion comes out. So you can't rely on those players to say, oh, well, maybe the other servers aren't going to get any, or maybe we will get a little bit more.
Well,
then those players that you're going to get, they're not going to be skilled players because they might have been gone for the game for about 1.5 years or so.
But it's what you do to get them involved, to get them, you know, more experience. It's what you do in that aspect.
True. However,
And
who's
the
to say that the other
servers will
server
get
aren't going to do the
returning
same
players,
thing?
but they won't get new players, will they?
Correct.
Right now that it's based on world versus world, the servers that are full won't get any more influx because they'll be full.
No one's to have returning players on those servers who are inactive.
Yeah.
But that was the point, is that new players will not be able to join those full servers.
Correct. Which
That said, it doesn't take a lot of time to get to 60.
Which
You
is
can do that in a couple of days.
Your high, or your very highs will be the first ones to fill up, and then highs will, because people want to be on a populated server. Correct.
Yeah, that's probably the one thing that counts against us in terms of most MMOs. If you get a very high server, it's like it's indicating a large PvE population. Whereas obviously with Guild Wars 2 now, it's simply about world versus world, which doesn't bode well for us in terms of, oh, okay, that's now high for us. We now look like we're not as populated in terms of other servers when we actually have a huge population overall.
Alright, well, if we've got nothing else to discuss, I guess, then yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the answer's out there. So
pretty much.
All right, listen, everybody.
Do.
No one's tanking here. No one's. Don't interrupt. No one's tanking.
Yeah, seriously. Tanking is an awful idea. We've
It's not
done
an
it
option
before.
clearly
It's
at this
terrible.
point. So what we need to do is we just need to go and we need to dick punch whoever comes down. Fuck it. I don't give a shit who it is. If it's TC, fuck TC. If it's BG, fuck BG. If it's YB, fuck YB. I don't care. I don't give a shit.
It's dead.
If it's
Honestly-
Red, it's dead.
No, if it's green, it's dead because the tier 1 server will always be green. Let's kick their ass.
Honestly, as much as I enjoy the fact we've got company from one of those servers, the
okay
weak
with
point is TC or JQ. The cross-wrapping idea was stupid to begin with. They've got to either keep it up in terms of T1 or keep it up in terms of T2. We can focus the weakness there.
Is though, you know, ANET's not going to do anything about the match manipulation that's been going on, and they haven't done anything about it. There's no reason for them to do anything about it in the future. So onus really is on you guys. You know what? I agree with whoever said, you know, whoever comes down, fuck them. You know, if it's TC, hit them hard. You know, train your guys to do this week in and week out. And get it done.
Look, I'm one of the main drivers.
And his name is John C.
Really?
Oh my god.
No.
Oh yes. I'm sorry, continue going, man.
No.
Oh my god.
Alrighty. But yeah, I can take Fist and I can push whoever's green. That's fine. I'll completely stay off FABL and I will push whoever's green. EB it gets interesting because it goes both ways and STEM, and bleed out or whatever, but pretty much stay off each other's borderland, focus the tier 1 borderland. I don't care who it is.
Here's an idea. If FA and SOS are gonna work together, right? So you practically just agreed with that, right? And you get a list of commanders on all time zones and give it to the other commanders on the other side so that they can communicate better. Would that be a viable thing? When a commander from SOS will come out and say, who's commanding an FA? Let me PM the guy, so that we can have communication. Because if you're going to work together, you're going to need communication. You don't fight a war with no communication. So that's vital. That's something that needs to happen if you're going to work together and say, hey, look, we're going to focus on whoever it is that comes down. And if you're going to do that properly, right, you're going to need to have intercommunication between the two servers, between the commanders of those two servers, and say, okay, I'm going to go hit their Gary, while you hit their EB keep. Something to that account, Not a viable thing. Let me ask you guys that, FA and SOS. Is that gonna offend somebody, or is that gonna hurt somebody's
I don't think
feelings?
that offends, because I know there are times when commanders ask, "Gee, I wish I knew who have a contact in FA," and we didn't have any.
It has been done in the past, kind of, not very formally.
You know
Commanders
what?
have worked together.
Wait, Chava, just
Honestly,
a second.
I think there's nothing wrong with building relationships with
I have
servers.
absolutely no problem actually doing an organized 2v1. It's happened enough times to me that...
Right, why not take it a step further in this case? You know what I mean?
I have no problem with it. I can't speak
Most
for
people-
everybody, but I have no problem busting some chops.
I'm going to assume most people here are either commanders, drivers, guild leaders, right? So you have a say in your guild. How about we hear a few people and say, do I have a problem with this, or I don't have a problem with this? We heard one guy say he has no problem. Do we hear somebody else would say?
I have no problem with that.
Here you go. I'll go a step further. There's my account in chat. Go ahead and give it to all the FA commanders. You can talk to me.
There you go. See, that's the step right there. You're taking a step to something to change the shit that you guys are in right now. Want to get it done. That's what you got to do. Unconventional things you haven't tried before in the past. Because you are in an unconventional situation. So, talk to each other that way. You have to have it. I know when I command, there are many a times that I would say to myself, man, I wish I knew what that guy is up to, because I know he's hitting that, that all those other people's Gary, and he's not hitting me, and there's map politics going on. But, and you try to follow it to the best of your abilities, to the best of how you can read the map and the troop movements and such. But it'll still help a little bit, like notch a little bit, because you're doing it already. Why not go another inch? Why not? It's something that you're already doing. It's something that you guys have already agreed. You've already agreed that you're not going to tank your servers. Fuck that, you said, right? So if you're not going to do that, you might as well fight. And if you're going to fight, you might as well arm your shit with anything you can arm yourself with. Because you're going to need help to fight Yaxben or TC or Blackgate or whatever. I mean, I know I'm from TC and I'm telling you guys how to fight. So fuck, this is what you got to do. You got to wake up and smell the coffee and say, hey, guys, we can't do the same shit we're doing, for the past however long. We got to change tactics because the game has changed. This whole Yaxben bullshit, it's a game changer. So you got to either adjust or die. That's it.
We'll give the same speech
Well,
that way.
That was TW's doing, and why they did that, I have no idea. Are they trying to push TC down or Blackgate down?
They're actually, here's the story there, okay? It's mostly BG. there's guys in BG that they want to manipulate the game. They want the game to revolve in their hands, okay? But the community in Blackgate are starting to see that this is not the way it needs to be. It needs to be fun. It needs to be less political. It needs to be less manipulative. We want to go out and raid with our guys and have fun with our raids. And we don't want to be listening to some guy telling us, hit this but not that, play this amount of hours but not too much, and all these, you know, micromanagement and that kind of stuff. So little by little, that control that they wanted to do started to erode from their own community. And what happens there was their own community, Blackgate's own community, did not agree with these guys who wanted to manipulate things. And so eventually, as months go by, as weeks and several weeks, you know, they couldn't manipulate it anymore. They started losing rights. They started losing rights from their TeamSpeak. They started losing rights from their, you know, own forums and such. Like their War Council members are being kicked out little by little. And they resented that. Every time a person in their guild that had War Council rights lost its rights, they flip out. I get messages from, you know, 3 a.m. in the morning in Skype as a text that such and such got removed from this and that. And I was like, wow, okay, why? Why did you do that? Or whatever, what happened? And then I hear these stories. So eventually they needed a place where they can park themselves and do their manipulative games. And unfortunately, it landed on your backyard. And this is what they're doing now. So they tried to do that in Tier 1, but the Tier 1 community and the management that is in place, the structure, which I'm a part of, was too strong. We've banned these guys already, you know, from our TeamSpeak, our because they were fucking, you know, on both. For instance, I'll give you an example, right? You have these guys fighting you because they said, oh, I want to fight you. Okay, great. But then they start parking their tunes because they had rights from both BG TeamSpeak and TC TeamSpeak, for instance. And the guy comes up and says, push you pussies, you know, and he says, no, why should I push? I'm in a good spot. No, you push, you fucker. You know, you got 40 people. I'm looking at your TeamSpeak. So things like that started to happen, and people didn't agree. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You're playing on that side and you're looking at my TeamSpeak? What the hell's wrong with you? So we started removing, like, you can't do that. Now we're going to remove your permissions to do that. You know, your commander comps, things like that. We started removing them because what they were doing was they would have commander comps on, and then they would play on their Blackgate accounts while they're in the TC TeamSpeak. And we said, no, you can't do that. We know you're logged into your Blackgate account, but you are in the TC TeamSpeak in your own guild room, and your commander comms, you know, is on. Your orange light is on and such. So were all these things that were happening, and they were doing the same thing on the other servers like JQ,
but
and BG.
JQ was doing the same thing to BJ.
Correct, that's what I just said. They were doing the same thing on the other servers as well. And so the community in those servers were disagreeing with these unscrupulous moves. They were underhanded, they were downright cheating, basically. And so when they were kicked out of those rights, when those rights were ripped away from them, they cried, they complained, they bitched about it. And then they eventually decided, you know what, we're not going to deal with this. We're going to go to Tier 2. And then we're going to form our own alliance, and we're going to break their Tier 1 wall. Because fuck those Tier 1 guys. And that's what they wanted to do. Unfortunately, a way for them to do that, to get back at the Tier 1